the shadows of Renaissance Italy, one man dared to strip away the facade of political power, revealing its raw, unvarnished truth. Written in exile, stained with controversy, and echoing through 5 centuries, The Prince isn't just a book. It's the ultimate playbook of power that changed how we see leadership forever. This is Niccolò Machiavelli's masterpiece, where virtue meets ruthlessness and the art of ruling collides with the darkness of human nature. Welcome to the world where good and evil blur, where the ends justify the means, and where power is the only truth that matters. Niccolò Machiavelli wrote The Prince in 1513, while in exile from Florence, dedicating it to Lorenzo de' Medici in an apparent attempt to gain favor with the ruling Medici family. This seminal work of political philosophy and statecraft represents a stark departure from the idealistic political writings of the time, instead offering a pragmatic and often controversial guide to acquiring and maintaining political power. The treatise begins by categorizing various types of principalities and methods of acquiring them. Machiavelli distinguishes between hereditary principalities, which are easier to maintain as people are accustomed to their ruling family, and new principalities, which present more challenges to their rulers. He particularly focuses on newly acquired territories, arguing that these are the most difficult to maintain, as people who believed they would benefit from a change will become disillusioned, while those who prospered under the previous ruler will remain hostile. Machiavelli extensively discusses the role of military power in maintaining control. He strongly criticizes the use of mercenaries and auxiliary troops, arguing that they are unreliable, cowardly, and dangerous to the ruler. Instead, he advocates for a prince to maintain his own army, comprised of citizens or subjects. He believes that a prince must always be thinking of war, even in times of peace, through studying military history, keeping troops well-trained, and maintaining strong fortifications. The work is particularly notable for its revolutionary approach to political morality. Machiavelli argues that a ruler must be willing to act against traditional virtues when circumstances require it. He famously asserts that it is better to be feared than loved if one cannot be both, though he cautions that a prince must avoid being hated. He explains that while a prince should appear to be merciful, faithful, humane, religious, and upright, he must be willing to act against these virtues when necessary for the state's benefit. This marked a significant departure from medieval political philosophy, which emphasized that rulers should strive to be morally virtuous. Regarding political strategy, Machiavelli provides detailed advice on how princes should conduct themselves. He recommends keeping enemies close while eliminating potential threats before they become too powerful. He advises princes to avoid neutrality in conflicts between neighboring states, arguing that the victor will eventually become a threat while the loser will not trust them. He also emphasizes the importance of appearing strong and decisive, suggesting that it's better to make quick decisions, even if they might be wrong, than to be perceived as weak or indecisive. The text explores the relationship between fortune, fortuna, and virtue, virtu, in determining political success. While Machiavelli acknowledges that fortune plays a significant role in human affairs, he argues that a skilled prince can prepare for and mitigate its effects through foresight and proper preparation. He famously compares fortune to a rushing river that can devastate unprepared lands, but can be controlled through proper planning and construction of dams and channels. Machiavelli's work also provides practical advice on managing advisors and courtiers. He warns against flatterers and emphasizes the importance of choosing wise counselors while maintaining the authority to make final decisions. He suggests that a prince should encourage honest advice, but only from specific people when specifically asked, ensuring that counselors understand they must tell the truth but only when their opinion is requested. Throughout the work, Machiavelli uses historical examples from ancient Rome, contemporary Italy, and other European states to support his arguments. He frequently references figures like Cesare Borgia, whom he considers a model of effective political leadership despite his ultimate failure, and ancient Roman emperors, drawing lessons from both their successes and failures. The conclusion of the work includes a passionate plea for Italian unification, revealing Machiavelli's underlying patriotic motivations. He argues that Italy is ripe for a new prince to unite it and drive out foreign powers, showing that despite his pragmatic approach to politics, he maintained idealistic hopes for his homeland's future. The prince has had an enormous impact on political thought and continues to influence modern political theory and practice. While some have read it as a straightforward manual for tyranny, others interpret it as a subtle exposure of princely rule's true nature, or even as a satirical work. Its enduring relevance lies in its unflinching analysis of political power and its recognition that political necessity sometimes requires actions that conventional morality would condemn. The work's influence extends beyond politics into business, military strategy, and general leadership theory. Its clear-eyed analysis of human nature and power dynamics continues to provide insights relevant to modern leaders and organizations, making it a foundational text not just for political science, but for understanding power relationships in general. From the bloody streets of Renaissance Florence to the corridors of modern power, Machiavelli's wisdom continues to whisper in the ears of leaders worldwide. His words, though centuries old, cut through time with surgical precision, laying bare the eternal truths of power, ambition, and human nature. The Prince isn't just a historical artifact, it's a mirror reflecting the unchanging face of power, as relevant today as it was in 1513. Whether you see it as a manual for tyrants or a brutal exposition of political reality, one thing remains certain. Once you understand Machiavelli's principles, you can never look at leadership the same way again. This has been The Prince, where the masks of power fall and the truth stands naked. Everyone sees what you appear to be. Few experience what you really are. Niccolò Machiavelli.